Hello, this is Pastor Jay with Walk Truth Radio Podcast. I'm doing my, I don't know, first, second, third, fourth video, but I don't usually do videos because it's more important that you hear what I have to say versus definitely seeing me. I'm not that egotistical that I need to be seen, but I know that a lot of people, they want the video plus audio. So I've been talking about the men, and it's been quite fascinating journey to deal with the men as far as regards to being a biblical man. And what I find most fascinating is the pushback I get from females. On one hand, there's a group of females who understand what I'm saying, and those tend to be the mature, biblically literate, uh, living out their lives as Christians or even non-Christians, but understand that uh, the male has a responsibility that in our culture, on one end, we're saying he shouldn't have to live up to them. And then when he doesn't, and the aftermath and the repercussions of him not living up to what we think he's supposed to do, then uh, he's pushed aside. He's impotent in the community. He becomes a non-factor in the day-to-day lives of his children and the society, and he becomes a throwaway. And because of this, when that throwaway is bounced back to him, then what he does is take the position of I'm not worthy, I'm worthless, I uh, need somebody. He becomes almost like a emotional welfare recipient, whereas the only way he figured he could be a man, whatever the definition is now that becomes in his mind, is that he has to get his manhood from someone else. And 9 times out of 10, he thinks that, from what I see, that his manhood is wrapped up into how his female counterpart looks, nurtures, and takes care of him. Uh, and that's not good, because what ends up happening is, instead of creating a man, you create a son. You create a son. And what I've seen just in my life experience, and I talk to many people, what I've seen 99% of the time is when the woman creates a son, she loses respect for him. Even if she loves him, if she has to take care of him emotionally, physically, spiritually, and is not receiving that in the same way financially, and is not really receiving that reciprocally back, where she's being pulled on and pulled down while he's being while he's coming up, then what happens is that they become imbalanced. And eventually one day she'll wake up. And a lot of times when she wakes up, it's too late. She's, that term ride and die, she's done that. She's rode, and now she's dead. She's dead emotionally. She's dead spiritually. And a lot of times she's dead financially, because she's decided to hitch her wagon to a mule that's not going to pull. And, I hear all these things about, men need to, one, get in touch with their feminine side, two, that they need to heal, three, that, they got this emotional scar. And I get where all that's coming from. But you know what? My position is, man needs to atone for the decisions that he makes. You do not get to blame third parties for decisions that you make. Yes, you are the sum of your experiences, but you have a choice at some point in life how to relate to your experiences. It's almost like this. If I put my hand over the eye of a fire and it burns the first time, now I may say, well, I put my hand over the eye of the fire and it burns. It's not the fire's fault for being hot. It's my lack of knowledge. Now I have knowledge of that is hot and I don't need to touch it with my hand. Now I go and say, I have a choice. The fire, the eye, I remember it's hot, I don't touch it. But if I keep on touching it and complaining that the fire is hot, then something's wrong with me. We're blaming, men are blaming women for their lack of being a man. And I'm saying, you don't get to do that. And when you women sit here and fall for that man who is such an emotional wreck for one reason or another, what ends up happening is he not only uses your kindness, but sometimes he eventually abuses your kindness. And then we have what I see is the woman being dried up, sucked dry, like a lemon on a hot day in the middle of the desert. It won't last too long. So I'm doing this test video, so we'll see what it's like.